If you have a relatively short time frame to deal with, then searching for a lost civilization becomes much more complex and much more difficult.
It's chunky.
Yeah.
It's chunky. I mean, these are big blocks. The ones at the top would be under a ton, I would think. But down here we might be into the 2-ton range, 2-3-ton range, and no, I don't think so.
Ancient civilizations like the Egyptians and the Mayans have left behind monumental wonders that continue to baffle and intrigue us. Colossal monuments and intricate cities, their secrets buried deep beneath the sands of history, reveal glimpses of a bygone era's ingenuity. A recent discovery, however, has left scientists and historians astounded.
Period for which we have written documents, and archaeology is the period before that.
How could such an astonishing structure have been built? Could it truly be the work of an ancient civilization? Or is there something more otherworldly at play? Join us as we delve into this shocking mystery. Scientists discovered an ancient megastructure on a mountain humans could never build. Unearthing Hattusa. Hattusa, also called Hattusas or Kusas, is an ancient city located in a dramatic bend of the Kızılırmak River, close to what is now Boğazkale, Turkey. Once known as Basileia, this city is nestled in the Anatolian highlands, about 180 kilometers east of Ankara. It lies within the Turkish province of Çorum on the Büyükçekmece Plain and is situated at the edge of rugged southern mountains. The city spans about 2.1 kilometers from north to south and rises around 280 meters above the surrounding land. Hattusa was the heart of the Hittite Empire, and its rocky landscape was cleverly incorporated into the city's design, creating a unique and formidable architectural environment. The story of Hattusa's discovery by Europeans began in 1883, when French archaeologist Félix Maréchal Texier stumbled upon the ruins near Baki. Texier meticulously documented the site, taking measurements, making illustrations, and creating a preliminary site plan. Over the years, more European explorers visited Hattusa, with notable contributions from Heinrich Barth in 1858. In 1861, French archaeologist Georges Perrault conducted excavations at Hattusa and, by 1886, proposed that Bas-Kî was the Hittite capital. German engineer Karl Lehmann also played a key role by creating a comprehensive site plan in 1882. Significant discoveries continued throughout the years. From 1893 to 1894, Ernest Chantor uncovered clay tablets inscribed with cuneiform text, revealing both Hittite and Akkadian writing. In 1905, Hugo Winkler's excavations at Bukal, the royal fortress, uncovered numerous tablet fragments, further establishing Hattusa's historical importance. One of the most notable finds was a treaty between Hittite king Talia I and Kurunta, discovered in 1986. In 1991, the discovery of the Minoan bronze W added to the site's significance. The royal archives unearthed during these excavations included important documents such as legal codes, religious rituals, and the terms of the peace treaty between the Hittites and Egyptians, now displayed in museums worldwide. Additionally, sphinxes found at the southern gate of Hattusa have been restored and are exhibited in museums in Turkey and Germany. The majestic Lion Gate of Hattusa. The Lion Gate in Hattusa is an awe-inspiring relic from around 1400 BC. It once served as the grand entrance to Hattusa, the capital city of the mighty Hittite Empire. Known for their formidable military strength, extensive diplomatic networks, and sophisticated legal and political systems, the Hittites were a dominant force in the ancient Near East. Hattusa was not just any city, it was the bustling heart of the empire, a center of politics, culture, and religion. The construction of the Lion Gate during the empire's peak showcases their wealth, military might, and advanced architectural skills. The Lion Gate is a monumental stone gateway flanked by two enormous lion sculptures, each meticulously carved from a single block of limestone. The front halves of two majestic lions, carved from enormous rock blocks, flank the entrance, giving the gate its famous name. These striking statues, with their open jaws and wide, glaring eyes, likely served a protective role. Their fierce appearance was intended to ward off evil spirits, safeguarding the city. Researchers believe this because similar lion designs are found in Hittite and Mesopotamian architecture, where they also symbolize protection. Their imposing presence symbolized the strength and authority of the Hittite rulers, reminding all who entered of the empire's power. The eye sockets of the lions used to be lined with various decorative materials. Taking a close look at the skillful carving of these sculptures, especially with the right lion, which is completely intact. You can see its magnificent mane, the fur on its chest, and its detailed head. The left lion, however, is in much worse shape, having lost almost its entire head. Recently restored, visitors to Hattusa can now admire it in all its glory. Above and to the left of the damaged head of the left lion, you can spot a few barely visible Luwian hieroglyphic characters. The upper blocks of the left tower facade remain rough, showing that the gate was never finished. The Lion Gate is a stunning example of Hittite sculpture from the 14th century. The craftsmanship of the Hittite masons is truly impressive. The massive stone blocks used in its construction are fitted together using a method called the polygonal technique. In this technique, the visible surfaces of the stones are shaped with straight sides, making each block look like a polygon. It's said that the stones of the Lion Gate in Hattusa fit so perfectly together that you couldn't even slide a thin piece of paper between them. As you explore Hattusa, you'll find a paved road that splits about 300 meters after the stopover at the lower town. The main sightseeing path follows the right fork of the road, leading you straight to the Lion Gate. Near this gate, there's a convenient car park for tourists who are exploring Hattusa by car or motorcycle. The Lion Gate is not only a marvel of ancient engineering, but also a highlight for visitors exploring the historic site of Hattusa. Mysterious megalithic sites like the Lion Gate continue to baffle us today as we struggle to fully understand their purpose and construction. The Lion Gate is part of Hattusa's larger fortification system, which included extensive walls, gates, and towers. These defenses were not only practical for protection, but also a bold statement of the Hittite civilization's might. The city's walls stretched over 8 kilometers, enclosing and safeguarding its inhabitants from potential invaders. The lion sculptures at the gate stand about 2 meters high, while the gate itself towers at 4.5 meters high and 4 meters wide. The construction of the gate involved massive limestone blocks, each weighing several tons, quarried locally from the limestone-rich areas around Hattusa. Transporting these enormous stones required advanced engineering techniques. The Hittites likely used sledges, possibly with rollers or lubricated tracks, to move the stones over land, showcasing their ingenuity and skill. Hattusa, the resilient city. During the 2nd millennium BC, the Hittites began spreading into central Anatolia, gradually extending their reach through a series of invasions. They expanded their territories over time, eventually taking control of the lands of Hittite princes. Before the Hittites, who would adopt the culture and even the name of the Hittites, arrived, the marketplace Karum, established by Assyrian merchants and known as Hattusa, flourished as a long-term settlement. However, in 1750 BC, King Anita of Nesha burned it down and cursed it. "I took Hattusa in one night with my power, and sowed weeds on the grounds of the city. Whoever becomes king from now on and settles in Hattusa shall be cursed by the god of the storm," he declared. Yet despite this curse, the geographical features of the region made it almost impossible for enemies to conquer. A century later, the first Hittite king, Hattusili II, ignored his ancestor Anita's warning and chose to make Hattusa his capital once again, thus beginning the storied history of this unique city. So, what lay on this land thousands of years ago? Hattusa, about 4 times the size of the Vatican or nearly the same area as Monaco, was divided into 2 parts, Lower City and Upper City. A great fortress stood at the junction of these 2 sections, symbolizing the city's strength. The king and rulers resided in dominant positions over the people in the Lower City and were near the temple district in the Upper City, close to the gods, which added a divine power to their rule. The king's written instructions to his attendants revealed that the wooden gates of the city were closed and sealed each evening. These seals were carefully inspected every morning to ensure they hadn't been tampered with before the gates were opened again. Ancient Hittite wonders. Nestled just 4 kilometers from Hattusa, the Yazilikaya Rock Sanctuary is a fascinating ancient site. Its name, which means rock with inscriptions, hints at the rich history embedded in its very walls. This sacred spot is home to over 90 incredible sculptures carved directly into the rock. Yazilikaya features 2 open chambers, labeled A and B, both hewn from natural stone. In Chamber A, the most striking features are the 2 central deities, the storm god and the sun goddess. The side walls of this chamber are adorned with horizontal reliefs that portray a divine procession. Gods are shown on the left side, while goddesses are on the right, all moving in the same direction toward the central pair of deities. This layout suggests a grand ceremonial march towards the divine. Among the carvings, the largest figure is of King Tudhaliya IV. He likely had the temple completed and ensured his legacy by having his name and title inscribed in an Egyptian-style cartouche next to his right hand. Chamber A might have been the house of New Year's celebrations, where grand spring ceremonies honored all the gods. In Chamber B, known as the Chamber of Tudhaliya IV, there are some of the best preserved reliefs. This chamber, unlike the more exposed Chamber A, was partially covered, which helped preserve its carvings. The reliefs include 12 underworld gods, possibly linked to Tudhaliya IV's burial rites. On the opposite wall, the god Sharuma is depicted alongside a smaller image of Tudhaliya IV. Sharuma, a bull-like deity and son of the storm god, was associated with mountains and likely chosen by Tudhaliya IV to guide him in the afterlife. The Hittites had no set religious calendar, relying on gods for gratitude during good times and help during hardships. Unlike many ancient cultures, Indo-Europeans placed great importance on storm and thunder gods, possibly due to the climate of their homeland, the Pontic-Caspian steppe. In the bustling lower city of Hattusa, wooden and mud brick houses housed priests, officials, merchants, and craftsmen. Some buildings featured plumbing and even clay bathtubs. The most notable structure in this area was the Great Temple, built on a massive artificial mound. Upon entering through the gate, the cobblestone path named Temple Street leads directly to the main temple. Along this historic route, limestone water reservoirs can be spotted, likely used for ancient ablution rituals. Massive stone blocks measuring about 5 meters in length and weighing up to 20 tons are also present. These blocks once formed part of walls, which have since disappeared, replaced by wooden frames and mud brick. At the highest and southernmost point of the city stands an impressive man-made mound known as Yerkapi, meaning gate in the earth. This mound, rising 30 meters into the sky, is surrounded by a 71-meter tunnel made of unusually large boulders. To enhance visibility, the ground was once covered with a white layer. At the peak of this mound, you'll find the Sphinx Gate, a striking example of how Mesopotamian art influenced Hittite design. The Sphinx Gate features two majestic figures that evoke the Assyrian protective deity Lamassu from Dur-Sharrukin. But with a twist, instead of a bull's body, these figures have the body of a lioness. This grand structure wasn't just built for defense. It was a grand monument showcasing the power and grandeur of the Hittites, designed to impress anyone approaching the city from the south. Historically, the Assyrians played a significant role in the region. They established the city of Kanesh, or Nesa, about 160 kilometers southeast of Hattush. The area thrived under Assyrian influence, with Assyrian merchants paying taxes in exchange for protection. On the southern wall's eastern side, the Royal Gate features a unique sculpture. Unlike traditional depictions of kings or warriors, this 2.25-meter-high figure has prominent breasts, leading some to initially believe it might be female. However, the discovery of sculpted hair on the chest and the presence of horns on the helmet indicate that this figure is a deity, likely Sharuma, known for its divine attributes in Hittite culture. Secrets of the Hittite capital. The Hittite Empire was governed from the palace known as Büyük-Kales, or the Great Fortress, perched on the highest rock plateau of Hattusa. The palace was heavily fortified against internal and external attacks, with walls facing the lower city and additional defenses on the eastern side, despite the steep rocks. To enter the palace, one had to cross a viaduct starting from a plateau opposite the Great Fortress and ending in the first courtyard of the palace. This viaduct was likely constructed for the king's use, allowing him to pass through with his horse and carriage. While the exact functions of all the buildings remain unclear, instructions from soldiers responsible for the king's protection suggest that the first courtyard was open to the public. In contrast, the second courtyard, accessible only through a large gate, was restricted to certain officials. This courtyard housed the Written Archives building, a significant cultural treasure that Hattusha contributed to human history. It also contained administrative buildings and the king's reception area. The buildings in the northwest part of the courtyard, which overlooked the entire city, were likely where the king and his family lived. The lower city area, used as a settlement during the Karum period and earlier, featured the Great Temple and Hittite houses. The Great Temple, the largest structure in Hattusha, stood out for its two parallel sacred chambers, a unique feature among Hittite temples. Although no written documents explain this arrangement, it is believed that these rooms were dedicated to worshiping the two most important gods of the Hittites, the storm god of Hattusha, and the sun goddess of Irina. In contrast, the numerous large cubes found buried in the storage area around the temple shed light on the temple's economic role. These cubes were used to store various essentials, including solid foods like grains and legumes, as well as liquids such as wine and oil, which were supplied by the temple's workers. The upper city area, characterized by its sacred sites and official buildings, highlights how Hattusa differs from other Hittite cities. At the center of this area lies a temple district, arranged in a large bowl-shaped depression featuring 28 temples. These temples showcase the Hittites' distinctive approach to temple architecture, including grand entrances, expansive open courtyards with no roofs, elegant front galleries supported by wooden beams, and dedicated sacred rooms. Unlike many temples, these structures are not aligned in any specific direction, but are designed to harmonize with the natural landscape. The water basins, arranged in various sizes on the natural terraces to the southwest and east of the temple area, played a crucial role in managing the constant threat of drought. These basins, along with the grain warehouses built near the tunnel-like walls, created a smart system to store and protect water and food. For the king, this setup was vital. By controlling these resources, he could ensure a steady supply of food and water, which helped him maintain strong control over his kingdom and centralize his power. The controversial greenstone. Today, visitors from all over the globe come to see the remains of this once great city. They marvel at the impressive stone structures that formed the heart of an ancient empire, including the neatly fitted polygonal masonry and the many stones with perfectly round drill holes. Among these remnants, one stone stands out: the green stone. The green stone is an impressive slab, about 1.5 meters long and 1 meter high, making it quite large and rectangular. It's made of polished serpentine, a type of metamorphic rock rich in magnesium. This rock naturally turns green when mixed with iron and other elements. Since serpentine doesn't naturally occur in the Hattusa area, it was likely brought in from elsewhere. There are significant deposits of serpentine to the south of Hattusa and in the Taurus Mountains, leading some researchers to believe the stone was transported from these regions. The stone's smooth, shiny finish and its large size suggest it was used in important ceremonies or rituals. Even though it's quite heavy, the green stone was carefully sculpted. Its prominent position near the entrance of the Great Temple made sure it was always visible to worshippers and visitors, highlighting its importance. The green stone has fascinated historians and archaeologists for a long time, leaving many questions unanswered. Its unusual composition, large size, and the way it was placed make it an intriguing mystery. One idea is that the green stone was a sacred object that symbolized the Hittite king's power and grandeur. Its prominent spot near the temple entrance would have made it visible to everyone who came to worship. Supporting this theory, some think the king might have used it as a throne or special seat during religious ceremonies. Others believe it could have been an altar or a central piece in rituals related to farming or honoring gods like Teshub, the storm god, or a fertility deity. The stone's link to fertility in the earth adds weight to this idea. Another theory suggests that the green stone might have had a role in astrology or astronomy. Some believe the Hittites could have used it to track time or seasons. Some others suggest it was a gift from Ramesses the Great of Egypt to the Hittites when they signed their famous peace treaty. While the rock itself might not seem extraordinary, its size is impressive compared to the smaller stones typically found locally. Its large size might have made it special to the Hittites, which could explain why it was placed in the Great Temple. This temple was built with enormous stone blocks, some weighing over 50 tons, and was covered with large flat stones that fit perfectly together. Inside, there were about 200 storerooms for oil, food, religious artifacts, and other items. Archaeologists found huge earthen jars, some holding up to 2,000 liters, and thousands of clay tablets that have helped us learn about Hittite religion, politics, and daily life. The green stone of the Great Temple in Hattusa has fascinated archaeologists, historians, and curious visitors for years. While many theories and guesses have been made about the stone's history and purpose, much remains unknown. Its presence in the Great Temple is a reminder of the Hittite Empire's rich history and the advanced culture that once flourished in Anatolia. Perhaps future discoveries will reveal more about this mysterious artifact, giving us a clearer picture of the ancient world. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In the heart of Turkey's Taurus Mountains, scientists discovered an ancient megastructure on a mountain humans could never build. High above the clouds, nestled between two towering peaks, they stumbled upon a breathtaking bridge spanning the chasm. The bridge, ancient and majestic, was carved entirely from stone, its intricate design revealing a long-forgotten civilization's craftsmanship. Scientists discovered an ancient megastructure on a mountain humans could never build, and it left them in awe. Each mountain flanking the bridge bore the proud visage of lions, their stone eyes watching over the valley below. The bridge itself was adorned with similar lion carvings, their fierce expressions immortalized in the rock. Legends spoke of a lost kingdom ruled by a powerful dynasty, where these majestic lions symbolized strength and protection. As the team ventured across the bridge, they marveled at its flawless construction, wondering how such a feat was achieved without modern technology. The air was thick with mystery, each step echoing the whispers of ancient architects who had once roamed these peaks. Unraveling the secrets of this incredible structure became their mission. Who were the people who built it? How did they manage such an engineering marvel? Hattusa's hidden mysteries. In the heart of the ancient capital, many secrets still lie hidden. This grand city was once home to towering monuments that played a crucial role in the state's power. Yet the locations of key areas remain a mystery. We still don't know where the skilled artisans, shopkeepers, or warehouses were situated, nor do we know where the fields were tended by farmers or where the soldiers and their barracks were stationed. One of the biggest questions revolves around the Hittites' burial practices. Despite extensive exploration, no evidence of burial sites has been uncovered. Where did the Hittites lay their dead to rest? Another intriguing mystery involves the horses that once pulled the chariots of the Hittites. These chariots were crucial in shifting the balance of power and enabling the Hittites to strike a historic treaty with Egypt, one of the greatest powers of the time. This treaty declared both parties as equals and established a lasting peace. But where were these hundreds of horses kept? The answers to these questions remain buried in the sands of time, adding to the city's aura of mystery. Hattusa, the grand capital of the Hittite Empire, was deserted around 1200 BC, a mystery that intrigues historians to this day. The most compelling theory points to invasions by the Sea Peoples, a confederation of fearsome naval raiders who wreaked havoc across the eastern Mediterranean. These attacks coincided with a period of widespread chaos, contributing to the fall of several ancient civilizations. Alongside these external threats, internal conflicts and a declining economy played significant roles in Hattusa's abandonment. The city bore the scars of repeated assaults, each one weakening its defenses and hastening its decline. As the power of the Hittites waned, Hattusa became increasingly vulnerable, ultimately succumbing to the combined pressures of external aggression and internal strife. Mycenae, the Lion Gate and its secrets. Archaeologists continue to uncover physical evidence that sheds light on the Hittite period, promising even more insights as time goes on. One of such discoveries is the citadel of Mycenae in Greece, dating back to around 1250 BC. The most striking feature of this ancient stronghold is another Lion Gate, the main entrance that has captivated visitors for centuries. Mycenae was a powerhouse of Greek culture and military might during the Late Bronze Age, often linked to the legendary King Agamemnon of Homer's epics, the Iliad and the Odyssey. Between 1600 BC and 1100 BC, the Mycenaean civilization thrived, known for its remarkable architecture, sophisticated administrative systems, and extensive trade networks. The Lion Gate exemplifies Mycenaean architectural prowess. It features a massive lintel stone, weighing approximately 20 tons, resting atop two sturdy upright stones known as jambs. Above the lintel, a triangular relief showcases two lions flanking a central column, a unique symbol in Mycenaean art believed to represent royal authority and divine protection. Surrounding the gate are the formidable walls constructed using cyclopean masonry, a technique involving large, irregular limestone boulders fitted together without mortar. This method got its name from the later Greek belief that only the mythical Cyclopes, giants of immense strength, could have moved such enormous stones. The gateway measures about 3 meters wide and 3 meters high. The limestone blocks, quarried from nearby hills, weigh up to 20 tons each. The monolithic lintel stone itself is around 4.5 meters long, 2 meters wide, and 1 meter thick. Transporting and assembling these colossal stones demanded remarkable engineering skills and a significant workforce, highlighting the advanced capabilities of the Mycenaeans. It's truly impressive how the Mycenaeans and the Hittites managed to transport massive stones from quarries to their construction sites using sledges and wooden rollers, combined with a well-coordinated workforce. This accomplishment highlights not only their organizational skills, but also their advanced grasp of mechanical principles. The Lion Gate, a notable Mycenaean structure, was first mentioned by travelers in the 18th and 19th centuries. However, it was not until the late 19th century that systematic archaeological work began. Heinrich Schliemann, an amateur archaeologist inspired by Homer's epic tales, started excavating Mycenae in 1879. Although Schliemann's methods were sometimes criticized for lacking scientific precision, his work was crucial in bringing the site to global attention. His discovery of the so-called Mask of Agamemnon and other gold treasures in the royal tombs was sensational, though the mask was later found to date from an earlier period than Agamemnon's. In the early 20th century, Greek archaeologist Christos Tsountas further explored Mycenae, uncovering its layout, including the city walls, royal tombs, and palace complex. Tsountas's research provided a clearer picture of Mycenaean architecture and society. Archaeological exploration at Mycenae has continued into the 20th and 21st centuries, with contributions from various scholars and institutions. The Mycenaean civilization began to decline around 1100 BC, and historians still debate the exact reasons. It is believed that a mix of natural disasters, invasions by the Dorians, and internal conflicts led to the downfall. Earthquakes and other natural events likely damaged the Mycenaean cities, making them more vulnerable to outside attacks. The arrival of the Dorians, a Greek-speaking people, is often cited as a major factor in the collapse, as they may have caused significant social and economic disruptions. Additionally, political instability and internal strife may have further weakened Mycenaean society. Even though the citadel of Mycenae eventually fell into decline, it continued to be a powerful symbol in Greek culture long after its prime. In Greek myths and stories, it is famously known as the home of King Agamemnon and a place of great wealth and authority. One of the remarkable architectural innovations at Mycenae was the use of the relieving triangle above the lintel stone. This clever design reduced the weight on the lintel, preventing it from collapsing and demonstrating the Mycenaeans' advanced knowledge of construction techniques. Mycenae's strategic location and strong defenses made it a key military and administrative hub. Its position allowed it to control important trade routes and provided a stronghold during times of war. Heinrich Schliemann's excavations at Mycenae, while debated, uncovered amazing treasures like gold masks, jewelry, and weapons. These finds, along with Mycenae's legendary connection to figures like Agamemnon, have ensured its lasting place in Greek myth and literature. Stories of the Trojan War and heroic Mycenaean deeds have been passed down through the ages, keeping the site's cultural heritage alive. The massive limestone blocks used in the Lion Gate and other structures show the Mycenaeans' expert stonemasonry skills. They likely had skilled craftsmen who excelled in working with large stones. The massive irregular stones of Mycenae's Cyclopean walls were named after the mythical Cyclopes, who ancient Greeks believed built these impressive fortifications. What are your thoughts on the architectural advancements of the Hittite civilization? Let us know your opinion in the comments below.